Hey, everybody, LeafSpeed here, coming at you with another video today. Oh my god. Freaking yesterday at the time of me recording this video, it was just, wow. The hype was real, and it was on freaking April 1st of all days. And it's like, guys, you guys have no idea how hyped that was. I was almost out of breath. Just, wow. Freaking Nintendo Direct, freaking recent Yu-Gi-Oh! News. And it's like, oh my god, can I be any more hyped on freaking April Fool's Day? Seriously, April Fool's Day, guys. Think about it. It's a day where pretty much you take almost everything people say with a grain of salt and you call it a day. That's what you do. But here, it's just well, this ain't no joke. Freaking Nintendo is just nailing it right off the bat with freaking Mewtwo and Lucas, and I'm just like, dude, Lucas is back. He's gonna be DLC as well. So it's like, dang, son, that should be legit, yo. But yeah, it's crazy. We have that stuff. We have Splatoon stuff coming out. I think it's May 26th or something like that. The game's actually coming out. But yeah, we have freaking Splatoon amiibo. We got online ranked battle system and stuff like that. And oh, and did I freaking talk about the freaking Yoshi's Woolly World amiibo? Oh my goodness. If you guys looked at that, if you guys saw the direct, that shit looked awesome. You know how amiibos generally plastic figurines and stuff like that. But here it's just no, we ain't doing that today. We're gonna have an actual Yoshi amiibo made of actual wool and stuff like that. It's all soft and fluffy and everything. It has the whole amiibo function thingy on its butt. And yes, I know that could be taken out of context, but yeah, it's just insane though. I was just like, guys, the hype train is real. And then the freaking Shinigami Tensei Fire Emblem game. When I saw that trailer, I was just like, wait, is this what people were saying? This is more looking to me like Persona, which makes sense, obviously. But yeah, I was watching it, I'm it's freaking J-pop and shit. And I was almost thinking of Project Diva or those games where, rhythm games, stuff like that. And here it's just okay. Just sign me up. Freaking Mario Kart 8 stuff and freaking random Animal Crossing stuff. There's even some Pokemon stuff, which I honestly don't care about. But yeah, it's just Hype City, guys. Freaking Hype City. That's what I'm gonna. It's a freaking hype train. Hype City, I guess. Maybe that's what I'll call this video because it's freaking hype. It is freaking hype all over the place. In fact, I almost don't even want to talk about what I was gonna talk about in this video besides my hype from the Nintendo Direct and stuff like that. But honestly, this can kind of go along with it because people are kind of hyping certain things I'm going to talk about. But yeah, that stuff is crazy, and I just look forward to everything that's coming out because it's freaking Mario Maker's looking legit. Didn't hear about Star Fox, unfortunately, or Xenoblade Chronicles X, but it's cool. Maybe at the E3 they'll probably show that stuff off because, it'll be the big reveal. But I don't know. Anyways, let's get to the actual topic of this video before I go on even longer than I would need to. But I'm going to be talking about some cards from friggin' Cross Souls. That's it. I almost forgot the name of the set for a second. It's friggin' Cross Souls. There's a couple of cards I want to talk about. Not only because I can actually talk about their uses in this deck, Talaya Plants here, which, by the way, let's give Talaya a round of applause. I haven't done a video with her in a while. Lone Fire 3, the hype is real, and yes. But anyways, yeah. I'm going to be talking about two cards in this video, Jar of Avarice and Galaxy Cyclone. Now, these are two cards that have been hyped pretty highly for different reasons, mind you. Jar of Avarice mainly because people think it's super duper OP, and Galaxy Cyclone because they think it'll replace the ever so existing Mystical Space Typhoon. Well, let's talk about Galaxy Cyclone first, and then we'll talk about Jar of Avarice afterwards. So for those who've been living in the dark or under a rock or in a cardboard box, oh my god, by the way, that box game, that little with the box game on, that looks fun. Anyways, Galaxy Cyclone is a normal spell card, and it reads, target one set spell/trap card on the field, destroy it. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face-up spell or trap card on the field, destroy it. You can only use this effect of Galaxy Cyclone once per turn. So right off the bat, I know some people were talking about this replacing Mystical Space Typhoon, cause not only could you get rid of back row, but while it's in the grave during your next turn, you can basically banish it and just blow up a face-up spell or trap, so you can hit 2 cards with just 1 card. Now, yes, I do think that the card is very good. In fact, I think certain decks can make better use of it than the others can. The problem is, I don't really think this is going to replace Mystical Space Typhoon. Now, I know some people are like, well, why the heck would you say that? Well, let me explain. It's actually kind of simple, too. For one thing, for its requirement, you have to target a set spell trap card on the field, like Night Beam. Night Beam pretty much does the exact same thing. You target a set spell trap and you destroy it, and your opponent can't activate card. They cannot activate that targeted card in response. Here, they can respond to it, but it will get destroyed regardless. So if you hit a face down Vanity's Emptiness and they flip it up, it's still going to get destroyed just because of how it's worded. Because if it said destroy that target, then it wouldn't be destroyed if you flipped it up, which would have made it worse, obviously. But what I do like about Galaxy Cyclone is that it has added utility in certain decks like Lightsworn and Infernoid with Reasoning. Mainly because, Lightsworn likes to mill all the time with Solar Recharge. Charge the Light Brigade, now at 2 in the TCG. And obviously, if you milled something like Mystical Space Typhoon, you'd be just like, shit, I milled my MST, and I can't use it anymore. Well, if you mill Galaxy Cyclone, next turn, you can banish it, and then target a face-up spell and trap card on the field, and you blow it up. Now, granted, you have to wait till your next turn, but, it is what it is. I mean, you have to kind of balance it out somehow, otherwise it would have been a little bit too insane. And in fact, I think the hype would have been warranted at that time. But yeah, like it has extra utility in a deck like Lightsworn, because even if you mill it, you can still activate it from the grave later on to get rid of a Floodgate card like Vanity's Emptiness. Or if you're playing Infernoid, you can deal with that pesky Imperial Iron Wall, because that pretty much locks your deck out completely. Because not only you just can't summon any of your guys, but you basically can't summon any of your guys. In fact, there's like one normal summonable Infernoid monster coming out. But other than that, good luck, because you're really going to have a hard time. Galaxy Cyclone has utility in that deck as well. Because, you can mail with cards like Reasoning, Monster Gate, Lila, Raiden, Charge the Light Brigade, Soul Recharge. I mean, they pretty much got the similar engine going on with Lightsworn. So you can just happen to mill. If you just happen to mill this, then great, you're set to go from a future turn when those cards are flipped up. Or if they are flipped up right away, you can wait till next turn if you don't get OTK'd or something like that, and then blow up that Imperial Iron Wall just by banishing him from the grave. So to be honest, it does have utility there, but I don't think it's going to replace MST. Why? Mainly because MST just hits any spell trap card that's on the field. It's a quick play, so you can use it on your opponent's turn as well. You also have the benefit of being able to chain Mystical Space Typhoon as a quick play to said Floodgate, like, Vanity's Emptiness or Imperial Iron Wall. Now, like I said, in Inferno, it might definitely see use in there, because the deck, if you're playing the Reasoning build, it'll mill a lot, so milling Galaxy Cyclone over something like Mystical Space Typhoon is obviously not a bad thing, and it still does the job what you'll be running Lila and Mystical Space Typhoon for. Although I would probably keep Lila if you're playing that build. And as far as Jar of Avarice is a little bit interesting as well. I mean, heck, it's pretty much if you look at this thing, it's like the retarded brother of Pot of Avarice, currently forbidden in the TCG. And it's a normal trap that says, target 5 cards in your graveyard except Jar of Avarice, shuffle all 5 into the deck, then draw 1 card. You can only activate 1 Jar of Avarice per turn. It's pretty simple. So like Pot of Avarice, you shuffle 5 and draw. Here is 5 cards, so it doesn't have to be just monster cards like Pot of Avarice says, but you draw 1 card. So some people will say that's pretty broken, because you'll just be able to go, okay, shuffle all my spells and traps back into the deck. Now, I don't know how amazing that actually is. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the card is terrible. In fact, I think it's actually a very solid card. I just don't think it's like super broken right now. Mainly because, Well, if anything, this will just be a replacement for Pot of Avarice for some of these decks. Like in this deck, it can lose steam rather quick. Plus, in this deck, it has the benefit of having to be able, you can also put back Reinforcement of the Army as well as your row to targets as well. So you could put back your Reinforcement of the Army, your Spell Strikers, just so that you could potentially draw into those cards again. In Ritual Beast, it's actually decent as well because you'll be able to recycle the spells and traps that the archetype has after you use them all up, and then you can search them out with Ulti Kanahawk or regular Kanahawk. So yeah, it's actually pretty nice to be able to use it in a deck like in a deck like Ritual Beast. But honestly though, like I just think it's a little bit too overhyped. I think it's a good card. In fact, I won't be surprised if, you know, it's a secret, if it becomes a secret rare in the TCG, because that's what TCG Konami likes to do with some of these cards. Because in Japan it is just a rare, but I'm calling it right now. It's going to be a secret rare in the TCG variant of Cross Souls, and it's going to be expensive because everyone's going to be hyping it up and stuff like that. And then, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. But yeah, Jar of Avarice does have its applications. I like it in decks like Yangzing or Gusto, Ritual Beast. Like, they don't mind recycling because, heck, they have an engine that kind of feeds off of that kind of thing anyways. But I don't know if I like it in something like Necros or even Cleaford. I mean, you could run it in Cleaford if you wanted to, but I just don't know how good it actually is. I think it's a card that lower tier decks can utilize to great effect, like Yangzing and stuff like that. But I don't think it's a card that every deck needs. I mean, if you're going to run it in your deck, I would suggest only running one copy, just because you do not want to draw multiple copies in the early game. In fact, that's probably one of the worst things you could draw turn one. Because with Pot of Avarice, the thing what made Pot of Avarice so good is that you'd be able to go through your deck really fast and then activate Pot of Avarice right away because it's a spell card. Here, you have to set it for a turn. You have to set it and hope it doesn't get MST'd or hit with Night Beam if you can't chain another card and then chain the Jar of Avarice that was targeted. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good card. In fact, I will definitely use it in my Talaya Plants deck. The reason I'm not using it here because this is a full-on TCG build, so that's obviously why you're not seeing either of them in here. But I think they are very good cards, and I am definitely very excited to see what decks they will be used in. But I just don't think it's like worth all that much hype. Kind of weird that I'm talking about not hyping certain cards in a video where I was talking about hype at freaking Nintendo Direct and Yu-Gi-Oh! News. Freaking Fang of Critias fusions finally coming into fruition. I'll probably talk about those soon, but yeah, it's just ridiculous because, like, as someone who's watched the original series, I mean, I'm just happy to see these things finally come into fruition because it's almost like a crazy celebration of everything, all the classic stuff and even the new age stuff. So yeah, I mean, Plants, freaking Gladiator Beast getting stuff back, Fire Fist getting their stuff back. It's just a good time. And I do hope to see a bit more variety in decks too. But yeah, like, let me know what you guys think about Jar of Avarice and Galaxy Cyclone. Like, do you really think that they're worth all the hype that they have or had, if you think they're not all that hyped anymore? Or, you know, do you think maybe like me, and yeah, they're good cards, but they're not game breaking at this time? But that's not to say they won't have an impact. In fact, I think, like I said, in some decks, I think they'll be fantastic. But in other decks, I'm not sure. I mean, if you run it in something like Cleaford, again, I would only recommend one copy just because you do not want to draw it early on. You want to have it when, you know, you go through your deck really fast. And heck, I guess in Cleaford it's okay because you could search the stuff you put back and stuff like that. But a lot of the time, though, you're mainly going to be putting back your spells and traps. You know, you can put back the one Vanity's Emptiness, the one skill drain you're now allowed to have in the TCG, and all that other stuff. But I don't know. I just don't know how practical it is in that deck. Same with like Necros. I mean, you could argue that you can use it in Necros as well to recycle some of your ritual monsters like Brio and stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, I'm just not sure. I mainly see it in like the lower tier decks using it because they miss Pot of Avarice, especially in like Synchrons, Plans, anything like that, where, you know, Pot of Avarice was basically like a staple. This card would be the perfect replacement. Not only could you get monsters back, but you can also get spells and traps back. So, you know, it's nice. But yeah, let me know what you guys think because, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they're bad. I just don't think there should be that hyped. And again, it's kind of ironic that I'm even talking about it in a video with hype in it. Like, I'm almost out of breath because I was just like, and I was like, prior to this recording, I was still getting hyped. Like, I was watching the live reactions, you know, by MBZ, Ember ZMB, Rogers Base. You know, I was watching the trailers, the HD trailers, the Game Explain posted, and it's like, oh my god, the hype level oh my god, oh my goodness, my heart is actually going crazy right now. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this stuff. Let me know what you think about the Nintendo Direct. Just hype, 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 hype. That's pretty much how you sum it up. Hype, not hype, I don't know. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Oh, and welcome back, Talaya. It's good to start doing videos with you again, and I gotta do videos with other decks because I left a comment on a Galactic Gods top 5 decks of the April format that you like to play and stuff like that, and you kind of saw that probably. Anyways, see you guys next time. Peace.